Well, does the drama happen if you don't see it?
Does the drama happen if you don't bring a asthmatic cameraman with you everywhere you go? You think you put arch insurance in those shoes? I don't really want to think about what's inside those shoes that Shane Dawson weird. Fungus are in Shane's gym shoes for sure.
Hi everyone, it's me again, and Squish Gang is present. And today we're going to talk about the second episode of the tertiary Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star series. First of all, links, any sources I end up bringing up somehow, social media, Amazon, wishlist, Patreon, all ways to support the channel linked down below. I also want to mention that I did a live stream on Friday on the 4th of November, and at the end of this week, I am going to unlist it and put the link on Patreon only. And it's not because I just want to put things behind a paywall. It's because I bullied Blair White a little bit too much, and I want a job in the future. So this is going to work the same way as the other video that I made. I will link that down below as well. That is just going to be we're going to go point by point summary. And then we're going to do important key moments of discussion that we unpack a little bit of the more, I guess, rhetorical elements of the episode. So that's all today. Not much housekeeping or anything like that. And let's get into it. I had the gracious honor of being able to watch the first watch through on Ethan is Online's Twitch stream last night, which was very nice because every time I have to watch these alone, I just end up like this shell of who I used to be. And before the Shane fans say anything about my dramatics, I don't care. Who do you stan? The guy who goes like this? That was so cursed. Oh my god. I got to experience a much more enjoyable first watch of the episode because at least someone on screen was funny.
Trust me, it happens. New series, new year, new me. White jacket. Don't pan down. Oh. No, I'm kidding. I'm confident this year, guys. That's my thing. Okay.
Why does it look like he got hair gel and went to his hair and just went like this? And he's like, that looks good. He just smeared hair gel to the side of his head. It always looks like that. It's so weird.
Please subscribe to Ethan is Online, by the way. I'll link their channel down below, along with some others that we'll talk about a bit later. If you like my content, which is this more kind of structural understandings of discussions online, Ethan's content is quite similar, except he's also funny. I'm not the best at doing that. His are more scripted and structured, and his editing is also much better than mine. So if you like this content, I can almost guarantee that you would like Ethan's content as well, and they're into a little bit more political-esque nature as well, like US politics. I'm just not from the US, so my span of knowledge on that is somewhat limited. We've been a stan. I want to preface with, if I'm looking over, I'm just looking at the viewfinder because I'm not used to cameras yet. But what I want to say is that the episode starts off where the other one ended, approximately, which is talking about going to Jeffree Star's ranch in Wyoming or whatever. This is one of the rare instances of continuity in one of Shane Dawson's videos. And that's the last of it we're going to get, really.
What's wrong?
So Jeffree just FaceTimed me. And remember in the closet a few hours ago when I told you that I was nervous? I didn't know why, but with Jeffree, there's no way something's not gonna happen. I just knew. I could feel the energy of a bomb is gonna drop. I can feel it. It's happening. I don't know when, I don't know what, but something's gonna happen.
I don't know.
Shane, Rylan, and Chris are preparing to take a flight to Casper, Wyoming to go meet up with Mr. J Star. Shane mentions that Jeffree Star's assistant Maddie had quit in 2020. Doesn't elaborate on anything, and apparently Maddie is back now. So Shane mentions that because of his cancellation, his being Shane Dawson's, Jeffree's makeup ended up at TJ Maxx.
I'm not afraid of Jeffree. We've moved past that. Was I afraid of him the first 70 times I hung out with him? Of course. Did I think maybe if I made one wrong move, he would get his mafia friends to throw me in a trunk and throw me off of a bridge? Maybe. But because of my cancellation, his makeup ended up at TJ Maxx, and we're still friends. So, what else could I do? You know what I mean?
So Shane has taken the blame for the cancellation of the two parties and the downfall of Jeffree Star Cosmetics, or the decline at least, as his fault. Shane and Ryland get dressed for the flight. Ryland is serving sexy Willy Wonka TikTok guy in the worst way possible. And Shane Dawson looks like an uncomfortable marching band member.
Series. New year, new me. White jacket. Don't hand down. Oh. No, I'm kidding. I'm confident this year, guys. That's my thing.
Okay, I wanted to be bold because we were going to see Jeffree. But can I do this? It's a little gay. But I feel like, what would Jeffree do? I'm second guessing everything. I thought we were dressing to impress.
I am. A white jacket. New me.
You look great. You do look great. I should change.
No, I think you look great. Don't change, but we do need to hurry up. The Uber's here.
That's the only way that I can explain it. Someone in Ethan's stream said it looked like Shane Dawson was ready for his first day of school, which I thought was a good description as well. This is how I wrote it verbatim in the notes. Then they fly to Wyoming on the peasant regular plane amongst the plebs. Because last time, the whole series was about, like, the glamorous nature of releasing this makeup palette and the private jets and the luxury hotels and all that kind of stuff. And I think because a lot of the criticism was this cash grab nature and this idea of that they're like rich and famous and just pretend that they're not, Shane is like trying to combat that in some way. How effective that is debatable in and of itself, but there's definitely like a more, I guess, regular people nature, because I think they also flew, what's it called, a coach. However, with small flights like that, people can correct me, but sometimes, like in Canada, for example, if you do a flight from Montreal to Toronto, there is no, like, classes on the plane. It's just all the same seats because it's just, like, a short flight from point A to point B. Upon arriving in Wyoming, Jeffree Star and Maddie arrive at the airport, and Jeffree Star is like, oh, we created a lot of emissions last time with all the private jets, and now we're going green. And it flexes this, like, electric Hummer that he got. That he said that I somehow got, with a word in there that I can't say.
When we knew they were coming, I said, oh God, when are we going to pick up Shane? And I don't want him to, like, be embarrassed, you know? Like a Prius, a Ram truck. And I was like, no, we can't do that. So we actually just bought the all brand new electric Hummer. There's only 1,500 in America, and this one somehow got one. Now, you may have seen me and Shane and Rylan in our last series giving off a lot of emissions on the planet with all those private jets. But we've gone green now.
Somehow, we're going to answer that for you. The somehow is money. You got it with money. And before people go, well, anybody could pay the amount, but they didn't make that many, blah, blah, blah. No, but like when you have money, you have status, you have power, right? This is socioeconomics a little bit. He's a wealthy individual, so he'll be allotted better things than other people. Like that's how that works, right? That whole kind of aspect of it. Then there's like this weird juxtaposition of Jeffree Star driving recklessly with showing the 0 to 60 mode. And recklessly because it's just like kind of shocking, and it is a public road to my recollection. However, there's nobody on it, okay? So I'm not like accusing him of trying to kill Shane Dawson, okay? Before y'all just relax. But he has this like driving scene juxtaposed with literally discussing flipping a Rolls Royce and almost dying. Weird relation. And then obviously like Shane's like putting in weird clips throughout, and this like weird like stock footage.
Oh my god. So we're coming up on my exit, and we're gonna be on the long winding road where I flipped my Rolls Royce with Daniel and almost died. But we're still here.
Yeah, so since the car crash, I haven't seen you since.
So since you flipped and almost died, you stupid bitch.
I have seen you since then. Doing great.
I can't believe I haven't shown you the Series 61.
Hey, oh my god, wait, I'm scared. Okay.
I haven't done it either. I'm excited.
so stupid for not showing you. I'm so sorry. Guys.
Wait, what's going on?
Oh, I am so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. The vehicle's lowering so low. You welcome back to your house?
Oh, I'm ready. What's happening?
We're just gonna go.
Oh, you might want your head against the back.
So we're gonna see my foot right here. You know how you normally just use your right foot?
Yeah.
We're gonna take that off.
Okay.
Only charging right now.
Oh, yeah.
You ready? All right. This is called the box. Let's go!
The whole car scene also, so they're in the car for like half the damn video. It's so ridiculous. Like nothing happens in this. Okay, you want to cut off here? Nothing happened. We didn't get the reveal. Nope, we don't know what the palette looks like. We didn't get shit. We got a pinball machine room and a powder blue electric Hummer and sexy Willy Wonka Rylan Adams. That's it. Cut off the video. You can leave now. Anyways, the whole car scene really shows the types of people that Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star want to keep around them, because the employees, so this is Maddie and Chris, every sentence from both of them has to end in this like hyena-esque laughter, or Ethan describes Chris as an asthmatic cameraman. Every single sentence. I can't laugh for real because I'm just thinking and I'm cringing, but it's just all of the time. Not to mention the audio, which Ethan commented on the Shane Dawson video, and then I replied actually. The audio is awful. And you can hear the wind and everything, and the music is so loud. The music is so loud. So what we're going to do for the funsies, okay, for the jokes, I'm going to edit the next few seconds like a Shane Dawson video just to see how I edit versus like how I perceive Shane Dawson's editing. Because obviously I am not Shane Dawson, so the editing will not be completely accurate, and also I'm kind of lazy myself. There's a little bit of discussion on why Maddie left, and Jeffree Star blamed it on like the pandemic and the cancellation. They grew apart and then they came back together. And then there's all this talk where Jeffree Star's like, I don't like crazy nice things anymore, and I feel like I grew past that nature of maximalism. Oh, why would I have needed 11 bedrooms or whatever? Not like the fact that, ignoring the fact that there's been like substantial revenue cuts, substantial difference in status. A lot of people in LA don't like him anymore. Like there was no point of even staying there in the first place, and realistically there was a solid chance he could not sustain that lifestyle because he did buy it at peak revenue for him. The episode is starting to swing to the tail end, so I'm saying like nothing's happened. I've only been recording for 10 minutes. The episode ends with a conversation about the nature of social media, where Jeffree says that he's only doing TikTok because he feels like he has to, and mentioned that he's only has 2 YouTube video uploads left before he's quitting. That he's had enough of YouTube, he's done, he's hanging up his coat because nobody clicks on it anymore. Why would I watch if nobody cares? YouTube has fallen off. The phrase like YouTube has fallen off has been said a lot in this episode. We'll get to that as well in the next part. So then it ends with clickbaiting the exact same palette reveal that the first episode clickbaited at the end, implying it would be in this one. I was actually surprised it ended, like the episode. Like, I thought it was like I had been watching for like 20 minutes, and not in like a good way of like, wow, it's so exciting. No, because nothing happened. I watched a car vlog. One of the worst Shane Dawson videos I've seen in a long time. I was like, this is just a nothing boiga. A nothing boiga. There's nothing. Part 2, key points of discussion. Let's get this bread. Okay. For this video, there are 2 key elements we are going to be discussing. First, who is to blame for the cancellation overall and the way that Shane and Jeffree reflected on the 2020 cancellation that they had. Some refer to as Dramageddon 3. Some refer to as Carmageddon. And then the conversations of the peak of YouTube aspect, this kind of social media discussion that they had as well. So, to begin with the concept of Shane being to blame for the cancellation, I suppose that there's a little bit of truth in the sense that the Welcome to the Circus kind of clip thing, like the Twitter rant that he went on, was the straw that broke the camel's back to some extent, that kind of created this cataclysmic cancellation. However, they had already been on a bit of a decline post-conspiracy palette, if I was to argue that. It's only arguable if you're talking solely about initial cause, if you are isolating the entire situation to initial cause. Why? So it's like when people say Bye Sister was only about vitamins. I have never agreed with that nature, not in a way of defending Tati Westbrook before someone accuses me of that, but because you have to take into account the hit would not have gone so hard, especially with how much more clout, for lack of a better term, James Charles actually had over Tati Westbrook. If you think of this logically, there was no way that without prior cause to be able to shove James Charles off the hypothetical cliffs in Minecraft, that you could have such a crazy fall when there's actually a disproportionate power dynamic on social media range anyways between the two of them. Not in real life because Tati was way older than him, but the vitamins were the straw that broke the camel's back, okay? However, James's ego was out of control. He had outrageous tour prices. He was doing weird romantic advances with people. He was being very egotistical on social media. He had all the Coachella outfits of showing his ass. Like, there was way more going on at the same time that allowed for people to so easily understand. That's why the concept of ethos is so important, right? It's the credibility of the persona. If your ethos is already on the decline, someone else with a more positive ethos, let's say a drama-free one like Tati Westbrook, can knock you down. In regards to Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, this is because Jeffree Star, I'm just going to list things that were going on in 2020. Not even Jeffree Star's whole persona that made this so easy, because he's been doing horrible things for years. I have a video from, and I know it's horrible. Stop telling me. I know that there's a lamp pointed in my face. It's terrible quality. However, I do have a video called The Rhetoric of Jeffree Star. I could do it again. I don't know if I want to do that because Jeffree Star is kind of irrelevant anyways, but that video exists. It's on my channel. Anyways, here are just the things in 2020, okay? Jeffree Star released Cremated during the pandemic, which was a palette about death. Had many allegations coming up from his past in magazine articles and different things like that. Davi Vanity allegations and issues had resurfaced at the time as well. The usage of Twitter and aggressive social media presence in general, defending, let's say, the conspiracy palette for being overpressed or bad quality, which mine was. And this is after years of already being a bad person and having receipts on receipts on receipts to come back with to make these claims and push with Tati Westbrook's, second video or whatever as well, along with various different articles being written about the whole thing, right? While it was Shane Dawson's initial action, Jeffree Star was already so out of favor outside of like the makeup world, really, that there was not really much that he could say. I feel like this is more rewriting of history. And the way that they've done this too is very interesting. They've shifted the blame entirely to the audience by saying things like YouTube has fallen off, right? This aspect of it can't be me and my problem. It's actually just because the platform doesn't matter anymore because things like Paramount and Disney Plus exist, while ignoring the fact that Paramount and Disney Plus still cost money in a time with some of the most economic strain we've had in a long time. Not to sound like that weird Canadian MP that said you could afford groceries if you didn't have Disney Plus. There will always be an enticement and advantage to free media and accessible free media. And the thing with YouTube videos is that you can make requests in a way that you can't do with standard media that would be on like Netflix and Paramount and Disney Plus, right? There's a constant immediate feedback loop with social media that I think keeps it sustained beyond this point. There are tons of creators that would not have been famous before and these styles that would not have been liked before that are coming up. It's just different content. And because you're a bad person, and it's clear that you're a bad person, you have fallen off. That does not mean the platform has fallen off. Their whole conversation is like a weird circle jerk of like, oh, yeah, of course it's YouTube that's the problem because we're not getting that many views anymore. Like Ryland's like chipping in like, oh, it's hard for everybody these days.
Okay. And then when did you want to talk about
Quitting YouTube?
Oh? You're going there that quick? Is that real?
It might be. Might be. It might be time to hang up my butt. Yeah, so let's see. Two more videos and then I'm done. Just hanging it up, you hear? Okay, yeah, we'll have a hot meal and we'll dive in. It can't really be that shocking to you guys, right? Like,
It's really shocking to me. Are you kidding me?
I think you're kidding.
I'm
right?
not. No.
No one watches it anymore. No
That's
one
not
cares.
true.
It's very true.
I mean, it's hard out there for everyone on YouTube right
there's
now.
literally no point for me to do it anymore.
Right.
No one watches, no one
If
cares.
it brings you more sadness than it does joy, not even sadness of like.
There's no joy of
it's
creating
like-
videos for who? For what? No one's clicking them anymore.
And so-
Literally, no one cares about YouTube. Not one single person goes to watch it for enjoyment or fun anymore that I know anymore.
Right.
Like the old days, even Maddie, everyone would go home and go on the couch and blah blah blah. The pandemic created Paramount, Showtime, Disney Plus, Netflix had so much budget to do 20 million movies. YouTube fizzled out. No one cares. We went to Walmart and got 30 million views. People wish.
I don't know about y'all. I'm doing much better than I ever was, you know what I mean? And there's tons of creators that have been doing much better, you know, and there's new people coming in, new famous creators, or these people that were just famous for being outrageous and then just carried forward from there, or were just famous because there wasn't that many people. Them falling off is usually related to the fact that they like never bothered to actually take responsibility for anything, and eventually people got tired and they were unwilling to adapt. You think if you weren't going to adapt your personality, you're not going to be adapting your content, right? That's a pretty objective way to think about that. Regarding the second part, the peak of YouTube aspect of this whole thing, this argument relies entirely on anecdote. I was just talking about that right now, right? To back myself up, I'm going to name a lot of amazing creators across a lot of different genres that I'm going to include in the description, if not a pinned comment. And if I've maxed out all of those word counts, because I don't know how this works, I'm going to try to do the tags instead. It's going to annoy them all, but whatever. I'm going to do the tags because it's less word characters than the links. I can guarantee that you will like something, if not someone, if not all of them. We don't have exactly the same interests because there's going to be so many different genres here, okay? So we've got Gabby, and I'm going to fill the screen with little pictures of them because I like to suffer. Anyways, Gabby Bell, Anna Marie Forcino, Savvy Writes Books, Ethan is Online, Noah Sampson, Nick Duramio, Jesse Smiles, Tiffany Ferguson, Salem Tovar, Bradley Smith, Zaria Smith, Angelica Nyquist, Samantha March, Mr. Beard, Nick is Not Green, Austin Green, Jasmine Zaid, Sam Cedar, Smoky Glow, Crew World, Happy Mind, Tara Mooney, and Kunkin Dassner. And I think Audrey KG? Is that Katie? Audrey. She goes by Audrey, but I'll put the channel because I forgot what the channel is all of a sudden. So that is 14 channels, or 13, depending on how bad I am at counting. If you have channels you want to recommend to prove that YouTube has not fallen off, please tag them in the description or in the comments, and I will look into them as well. There are lots of amazing channels that people have all these different types of content that is worthwhile, and the platform has not fallen off. Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson have, and I think there is merit to that, and I think that there's a pretty good reason, as tons of people have stated. And just because you don't want to listen and you admit in this that you've blocked everything, you have like a hear no evil, see no evil mentality, you kind of keep the blinders on, you've admitted that you won't acknowledge it. Just because you will ignore the heaps of evidence as to why this is happening does not mean it's not happening. If you jump out of a plane, you cover your eyes, doesn't mean you're not falling. So this is, again, that aspect of continuation of audience blame rather than actually acknowledging, because online content throughout the pandemic was at its peak. Like Twitch streamers, YouTubers, all that kind of stuff, because, again, the economic strain and as well as a lot of Hollywood production being halted as a result of the pandemic, but then people could make at-home content like this. I am in my spare bedroom, right? So to conclude the video, we've only got one episode left. We've got this. I am trying to release a video in between the Shane Dawson videos as to not have like back-to-back Shane Dawson content for everyone's mental health. Hopefully I can get something out. The other video I have in mind is quite long, so I'll see how I feel about that. All links down below. Like I said, with the channels I've mentioned, they'll either be in the description tagged, or if not, there will be a Google Doc link that will have them all in it, depending on like what fits. Links, sources, Amazon, Patreon, shout out to my patrons, all that kind of stuff. All that's down below. And tell me how your day was. I'm curious, and I'll have a fun TikTok here in a sec, but I'll see you when I see you. Have a good day. Bye.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan B?
You know, marriage for me is like Plan Z, Section 5, Paragraph 7. For me right now, it's all about exploring my whimsical niche and, you know, eat some nachos or whatever.